This is not breaking news. This is not a scandal. This is not about one person. What we're witnessing right now is the slow unraveling of something much bigger, something systemic, insidious, and quietly catastrophic. It has taken years to reach this boiling point. And now, as it explodes in real time, we are witnessing the forces that hold it all together start to break. Governments will call it a crisis. The media will frame it as an anomaly. But beneath all of that, what's happening is far more dangerous. This is not just a protest, it's a seismic shift. One that could reverberate beyond the borders of Iran, shaking the very foundation of geopolitics as we know it. You might think you've heard it all before, that this is just another flashpoint in a long history of unrest. But this time, the stakes are higher. This time, the world is watching with more than just curiosity. They're calculating the next move, whether or not we see a change in power. This is a moment that will change the Middle East forever. It's happening now. And if you don't understand what's at risk, you won't be able to see the bigger picture when it all unfolds. Stay with me. So, what's really at the heart of this? What's driving the system that's keeping this volatile regime in place? It's not a matter of one man's power or a few bad decisions. It's a web, an entrenched structure that reaches deep into the economy, the military, and even the fabric of society itself. The system in Iran is controlled by far more than Ayatollah Khamenei. As much as the media might want you to believe it's just about him. There's a vast, shadowy network of elites and hardliners who hold the reins of control, making sure the status quo stays intact, no matter the cost. The public outcry? It's just a symptom of something far worse, a power structure designed to resist change at all costs. This isn't about ideological differences or who has the loudest voice. It's a battle between two forces, one that has entrenched itself in power for decades, and the other, the people who are fighting for survival. But even more than that, it's a fight for control over a much larger game, a geopolitical game where the stakes go beyond just Iran. And here's where it gets even more dangerous. This isn't just about who controls Iran. It's about who controls the Middle East. And right now, that power is slipping away. This didn't happen overnight. That's the real danger, this slow, silent shift that has been happening right under our noses. The system that now controls Iran didn't emerge from a single decision, a single crisis. It crept in, inch by inch, until it became the very air the people breathe. Compare it to what it was like years ago. Iran once had a thriving middle class, a society brimming with energy and potential. People could dream, they could plan, but over the decades, those dreams were suffocated by a series of policies that, one by one, chipped away at the country's economy, its freedoms, and its future. The real danger isn't just the current protest, it's the years of normalizing economic desperation, political repression, and corruption. It's the slow burn of inflation that erodes livelihoods while the elite remain untouched. It's a state of constant decline where the people are conditioned to accept a little less, a little more violence, a little more control, until it's too late to do anything but fight back. Now, it's too far gone. The shifts have become too great to ignore. And this time, there's no easy way out. In the midst of this chaos, a new shock hits. The Iranian Rial, the very currency that holds the nation's economy together, has collapsed. A single dollar now equals over 1.4 million Rials. That's not just a number, it's a signal. It's the breaking point of an economy teetering on the edge of collapse. The protests, which started in Tehran's Grand Bazaar, have spread like wildfire. What began as a quiet revolt among shopkeepers quickly turned into a national outcry. These were not political elites or university students protesting social laws. This time, it's the backbone of Iran's economy, ordinary citizens, fed up with being crushed under the weight of 70% inflation, economic mismanagement, and constant instability. And yet, despite all this, the regime's response? Violence. The government isn't listening. Instead, it's cracking down harder than ever. The brutality is escalating, and the message is clear: submit or suffer. But here's the twist. The more the regime tightens its grip, the more the situation spirals. This isn't just a protest, it's the beginning of something far more dangerous. And we're not even close to the full picture yet. This isn't a random collection of failures. What's happening now is the result of a carefully structured system designed to keep power concentrated in the hands of the few, no matter the cost to the people. At the top, the regime is more than just a political party. It's a machine, a massive interconnected web of military, economic, and religious forces that work together to preserve control. Who benefits? The elite. The top 1% that continue to rake in profits from sanctions, from military contracts, from the oil trade. The government may claim to be protecting the Iranian people, but the reality is far darker. While the population suffers, these elites live in comfort, untouched by the turmoil. And who bears the brunt of it? It's the people, the ones who see their savings wiped out by a collapsing currency, who live in constant fear of being dragged into the streets by security forces, or worse, jailed and tortured. Every dollar lost is a blow to their survival. Every protester beaten is a reminder of how powerless they truly are. This system isn't just broken, it's designed to be this way. And the more it tightens, the more desperate people become. But when desperation meets a corrupt machine like this, the fallout will be catastrophic. The situation is already critical. And then it gets worse. In response to the protests, the regime takes the ultimate step, an internet shutdown. It's the government's final line of defense, cut off the world's view of what's happening inside, stop people from organizing, erase the proof of brutality. But the people, they're not backing down, even with the blackout. Videos leak out images of bloodied streets, protests swelling beyond the borders of Tehran, people risking everything for a voice in a system that doesn't care about them. The regime's crackdown grows fiercer by the day, but the more they fight, the more the truth spreads. This isn't just about internet access, it's about controlling the narrative. And for a moment, it seems like the regime might succeed until, like clockwork, the world takes notice. With Starlink bypassing the blockades, footage from inside Iran floods global channels. The truth is out, and now it's unstoppable. The question isn't whether the regime can stop the protests anymore, it's how far they'll go to make sure they can. And that's where the real danger lies. Now, let's focus on you. On the people who are watching, those of us looking from the outside. The reality in Iran is no longer an abstract political situation or a distant geopolitical crisis. This is about people just like you, but living in a reality where every day is a fight for survival. Imagine, for a moment, living under the constant weight of fear. Watching your currency lose value at a mind-boggling rate. Seeing your friends and family members pulled from their homes in the middle of the night, never to return. Seeing your neighbors dragged through the streets by government forces. All of this happening in real time while the world turns a blind eye. You might ask yourself, what would you do? Would you stay silent? Would you continue to accept the crushing weight of a system that offers you nothing but hardship and fear? Or would you rise up, risking it all for a chance at something better? For the people of Iran, there is no choice. Their lives are on the line. This is not just about politics, it's about survival. And in a system like this, survival means taking to the streets, fighting for something they've been denied for too long. You can't look away from this. The lives of ordinary people are hanging in the balance. Their struggle is a reflection of something much larger, and you need to understand it because the world may never be the same once this fight is over. This crisis isn't just a national issue anymore. It's global. Every protester on the streets of Iran, every cry for help sends shockwaves that reverberate far beyond the borders of the country. What happens in Iran now could change the dynamics of the entire Middle East and the world. The implications stretch far beyond Tehran. If this regime falls, the power balance in the region will shift. Iran's military alliances with Hezbollah, Hamas, and various proxy groups in the region would fracture, throwing the entire geopolitical landscape into chaos. What happens next could reshape alliances and redraw the lines of influence in the Middle East for decades to come. And then there's the involvement of global powers, America and Israel. Both have already made their interests clear. The U.S. is watching, waiting for an opportunity to intervene. Israel, meanwhile, sees a power vacuum in the making, one that they're prepared to fill. But here's the thing. This isn't just about the Middle East anymore. The ripple effects could send shockwaves across the global economy as oil prices spike, security concerns rise, and alliances begin to crumble. The world is holding its breath, waiting for this fuse to burn all the way through, and when it blows, no one knows exactly what will happen. The future of Iran and the Middle East isn't set in stone, but we can see three paths unfolding, each one more uncertain than the last. First, there's the possibility of asterisk adjustment, the government yields, but only enough to regain temporary stability. The protests subside, but the underlying issues remain simmering just below the surface. In this scenario, the regime survives, but the people's trust in it is shattered beyond repair. The economic crisis continues, and the status quo remains, at least for now. The second path is asterisk erosion, a slow, unrelenting collapse. The cracks in the system grow wider, and with each passing day, the country sinks deeper into chaos. Inflation spirals out of control, the protests continue to spread, and the global community, once hesitant, begins to intervene. In this scenario, the regime's power becomes increasingly tenuous, but it's unclear whether a change in leadership will come peacefully or whether it will descend into a full-blown civil war. And then there's rupture, the most catastrophic option. The regime falls, but in its place, there's no order, no clarity, a power vacuum is created, and chaos erupts. The Middle East descends into greater instability, global powers scramble to take control, and Iran's future becomes even more uncertain. The path to a new government may be even more violent than the one that came before, with foreign powers jockeying for influence, each one trying to control the remnants of a shattered nation. Which of these futures will Iran face? We don't know yet. But one thing is certain: the clock is ticking. And every moment that passes brings us closer to a decision that will change everything. Here's the truth. No one can predict what happens next. We don't know if Iran will adjust, if it will slowly erode into chaos, or if it will rupture completely, pulling the entire region into instability. But we do know this: whatever happens will ripple through every corner of the globe, and when the dust settles, the world will look very different. This isn't just about Iran. It's about the fragile nature of power, of systems that seem unshakable until the moment they collapse. And the question you need to ask yourself is this: what are we willing to do when the world's power structures begin to fracture? Will we sit back and watch? Or will we start asking the right questions, holding the right people accountable before it's too late? Stay informed. Stay vigilant. This story isn't over. And if you want to understand what comes next, don't stop here. There's more to uncover.